Hello people. Do I need to introduce myself? Well, let me introduce you. I'm Eddie Page. Today we're going to be talking about the beast rising. You guys know who the beast is. We're going to talk about Yellowstone. I've got a lot of things to cover. So this is the first of 6 videos. I'm going to show you a few things, but I want to start off. Seismographs from the 2nd of this month. This was Henry Mountain, Utah. If you can see this, all this right in here is magma flow. The stuff at the top is tremors. In other words, harmonic tremors. Now this is about 3 hours south of Salt Lake City. Now, what is so unique about this came out this morning. See that? A city just south of Salt Lake City. It's called Salt Lake Valley. The residents are complaining of an obnoxious odor in the area, and they're complaining to their city officials they need to do something. It's not a sewage plant, it's not a garbage landfill, no, it is seismic activity. Now, how can I prove that? Well, let's go right here. Here's another seismograph from the 2nd. That's in Indian Meadows, Utah. That's just north of Salt Lake City. Again, you see the seismic tremors here. This is magma flow. People, this is getting real. This is getting real. And right here is seismic tremors being monitored by the seismograph. I'll have you guys geologists before the day's over with. We showed a map on our Facebook account of the safe zones, the things that are happening on the west coast and on the east coast. I've upgraded, and I've talked about the magma chamber. It covers 13 states. This is a map I've done now. The U.S. Geological Survey also has this map in their possession now. This is the magma chamber, people. This is how big the dragon is. It's covering a lot. And if you'll see right down here in the Gulf of Mexico, they have just recently, last year, started investigating a condor down there, sitting in about 2,000 foot of water on the Caribbean Trench, right off the coast of Guatemala and southern Mexico, Belize, right in there. The water temperatures down there are warmer than anywhere in the Gulf of Mexico by 10 to 12 degrees. See this little chart right here? This is Alaska. And as you can see this is what I call the Basin Dome. There is an active volcano going on right there called Redoubt Volcano. We will talk about Redoubt. I want you to make note of that because what's happening in Alaska is going to kick the Cascade Fault line. But as I've talked in the past, Yellowstone is the world's biggest and the most dangerous volcano anywhere on the planet. When it erupts, it is going to erupt with such a fury that it is going to be a devastating event, a cataclysmic event worldwide. Now, I've had many emails asking about when and where. We don't know when, but with the seismographs, we look for what they call harmonic tremors. Harmonic tremors. Let me show you 2 current seismographs. This is in Idaho. If you'll see right there, see the little markers I've got? Them are small tremors. They come in unison. It's like bop, 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 bop. It vibrates. It vibrates. And there was a noted, this was in Moose Creek, Idaho, which is on the western side of the Yellowstone Condor. There was a 2.4 and a 2.4 within an hour of one another. Now, this down below again is the sensors picking up magma flow. That was on, that was the 3rd, early this morning, matter of fact. Here's one here at Snow King Pass. This is just south of the Teton Pass, the area that they've got closed to the public now indefinitely. If you can see that, see right over here, that is high hydrothermic tremors. Other words, what it means is that when there is a tremor of this magnitude, and they wasn't big, but the sensors pick them up. I call them burps. The gas buildup, the methane pockets of carbon dioxide and hydrogen and stuff like that are churning above the chamber. And as they rise, they explode. Same principle. I wonder where that smell is coming from in Salt Lake City, people. Well, gas is like water. It's going to find a way to get out. It's going to escape one way or another. This is at Mammoth Lake. This is at the northern part. See all the seismic tremors, harmonics. Maple Creek, Wyoming. This goes down into the southern part, the southeastern part. You can see right there, more harmonic tremors. And then here's the magma flow. See the burps? The burps. Now, it's like this. What do geologists look for in these earthquakes, especially a volcano, is the harmonics. How soon are they coming? The P waves generally give us a signature, and a P wave is a small little tremor, and then it creates a bigger tremor, and then pretty soon them bigger tremors get into a situation event, a big earthquake, maybe anywhere from 4 to 6. When Yellowstone erupts, it's going to put probably anywhere from 300 to 400 metric tons of ash and debris into the air. This is before the lava and the pyroclastic flow comes rushing out. I have a chart here. If you can see, this chart shows the event compared to other major known volcano eruptions. That the one next to it, well, actually in 1883, Krakatoa exploded with such a force it devastated the island. A series of events and explosions took place within a matter of seconds now. Now, this event in 1883 was so powerful, the explosion was heard all the way into Australia. How do we know this? Well, through old archives and stuff, and it was funny, just the other night, the Discovery Channel, or the Science Channel, had a 3-hour special about volcanoes, and they were talking about Krakatoa. Krakatoa is very alive today. Matter of fact, it is starting to rebuild a dome. Now, with that said, Krakatoa sits right there in the southern part of the Ring of Fire. You know, I'm not trying to be a fearmonger here. It's far from it. I'm trying to be a realist and let you know, have you an understanding of what is making things go on, how these events are taking place, how these things are shaping up, how are they fitting in with biblical prophecies. And I'll give you an example here. We had a lady that sent me an email on our Facebook account, and she lives over in the UK, and she said, this is rubbish, you're fear-mongering, I'm not going to watch this no more. Well, that's your choice, but when it happens, tell your neighbors that you already knew this was going to happen, and I'm showing you the evidence. What will it look like? This is probably a good close proximity of what it will look like. It will happen in a millisecond when it does erupt. Yellowstone is the beast. It is the dragon. It is nothing to ignore. There is a lot of evidence I'm going to show today concerning the California wildfires and things that I have been privy to see in the last, well, 48 hours. I share this with my very closest of friends right at the moment because I want to make sure the data I'm getting is correct. I have 3 geologists that I talk with on a regular basis. I have one of the geologists, and I will not mention names because their jobs and the possibility of them being prosecuted if this gets released. I didn't sign no contract with any university or any geological surveys to keep this silent. It's called a confidentiality contract. For them to come to work for a university to teach geology or whatever, or they come to work with the, let's say, the United States Geological Survey. You have to sign a confidentiality contract that you will not go talk to the press or the media without the express written consent from your immediate supervisor of FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees all this. It's like, keep your damn mouth shut or we will fire you and we will put you in jail. I've seen these contracts. When I was with the agency back in the 80s and before I left in 1993, we all had to sign that because what we were working with was highly classified government material. It's just, it's irrelevant. If you, again, I like to use the old analogy. If you see the lights flashing at the railroad crossing and you look down the tracks and see that white light coming, are you brave enough to step across that track, that train? You don't know how fast it's coming. Just like Yellowstone, the beast, we do not know when it's going to arrive, but we look for certain signatures. They are known as harmonic tremors. Now, they had one on the 15th of July last month that caused the ground swells in Teton Pass, which they've been monitoring, and Butte Pass over in Montana, which has been rising. These ground swells are caused by methane gas, hydrogen gas, carbon dioxide, sulfur. Again, it is like water. The gas will find a way, but when we do not see any swells, we do not see any seismic activity going on, that's when we worry. Because the gas has found no way to escape. And if it can't escape, guess what? Doom, up it goes. So that's why I'm doing these videos. I want you people to know that not only is it going to happen in this country, and it could happen very soon, and I will be showing the evidence in these videos, but I want you to be aware, not because this is not a United States event, this is a global event, and it has happened in the past. I know what some of the experts say, that Yellowstone erupted 640,000 years ago. That's a bunch of crock. Because now some of them are to come out and saying, well, wait a minute, it did actually erupt about 70,000 years ago, because we're finding ash that is identical at Yellowstone down in the Rio Grande Valley. Imagine that. We know this for a fact because the mineral deposits and the lava deposits and the topographical buildups in these areas are identical to what we're witnessing at this very moment in Yellowstone. So I will get started on the next video, and we will go into the Cascade subduction zone. I'm also going to talk about about how Alaska is affecting Cascade. How Cascade, when it ruptures, it's showtime, people. So on that note, again, I want to thank everybody for all the emails you're sending me, whether they're positive or they're negative. It's okay, that's part of the job entitlement. I appreciate everything you send, and I try to get back to them as quick as possible. If I don't get back to you, do not think I'm ignoring you, because I'm not. I've got multiple things going on at several times. So on that note, have a blessed day, and we will get right to number 2. Thank you.